Well, hello there. My name is Mark Miles, and I love helping trainers, presenters, workshop facilitators really take the results to the next level. But in today's video, I'm going to speak to a little bit of a different segment of the world here. I'm going to speak to the people that are just starting out, the people that are stepping into the world of training or stepping into the world of running workshops. And maybe you are just scared. Maybe you're like, oh, can I do it? Right? And maybe you're the kind of person that is still stuck in the world of death by PowerPoint. I'm going to use PowerPoint because that's my crutch. That's what I want to go to. That's how we deliver presentations, isn't it, folks? That's how we do it, right? We put all the information on every slide and we go click, 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 click. And that's going to be my presentation, isn't it? Right? That's how I present. That's how I run workshops. And if I'm in the corporate world, that's how we run workshops, right? And the more we have on the PowerPoint, the better, right? Maybe you're still stuck in that paradigm. And that's totally okay for now. But I wanted to do a video to speak specifically to you because I know some of the concepts that I share on my channel are a little bit advanced for people. It's okay. And maybe you're not ready for those concepts yet. So today I want to do a video for someone that's just starting out and is a little bit stuck in that mode of, yeah, I'm going to put as much as I can on my PowerPoints. And if I get good feedback, then I've done a good job. Yay! To that mentality, right? Because as quick as possible, you do need to make a shift. But I get it. We've all been there. We've all been the place of, yes, if my PowerPoints look good, then I've done a good job, right? Yeah, I've done a good job. Right? Now, I need to stop being facetious, but at the same time, eventually you need to make a decision, right? And so in today's video, I want to go through 7 key points or 7 key things that you can actually start to do to get out of that paradigm of the more I have, the better. Or, as long as my PowerPoints look good, I've done a good job, right? So the first thing I want to encourage you to do is change your criteria. Change your criteria. So if you want to get away from the death by PowerPoint, first of all, change your criteria. What I mean by that is start to focus on the audience. All right. What a crazy idea, right? But start to focus on them and go, huh, have they actually learned what I've actually gone through? Because if you start to ask that question, you'll start to realize you're wasting your freaking time and you'll start to realize you're wasting their time. If you don't actually start to make the decision, I'm going to make it engaging, right? And when we are just delivering, we think or we fall into the trap of thinking, oh, if I just make my slide look better, oh, then it'll be a better experience. Or if I just show a different video, that'll be better, right? Make the criteria how much have your audience actually heard, retained, and gone off and used, right? And when you make that your criteria, you start to get very curious about how else can you deliver the information? What else can you say? How much more often can you check in with them? How many different types of activities can you run and make it more of an active experience? Right? But we aren't there yet, folks. We aren't there yet. It's okay. We've got other videos for that kind of advanced stuff, right? But the first thing I want to do is change your criteria. And it's like, all right, did my learners actually learn something from my session, right? And then as you're starting to design your PowerPoints that you love, right, you'll start to ask yourself the question, right? All right, I've just shown them a slide of blah, blah. How will I actually know if they've learned it? Right? And I've just shown policies and legislation. Great. How will I? And then you'll start to realize, oh, expletive, they haven't actually learned it. All I've done is just shown it to them, right? And you'll start to get curious, but we aren't there yet. It's all right, folks. We're not going to get too scary. We're not going to completely step away from PowerPoint, right? Number 2 here is practice. All right. So number 2 tip is actually practice. What a crazy idea, right? But there's 2 paradigms. There's I'm going to script the shit out of everything I do, or there's going to be I'm going to speak off the cuff, right? And what we need to realize is that when you are overly scripted, it really is detracting, right? And people can hear it in your words, right? So you want to get to a stage where you can talk through your presentation without having to look at your notes or your script too much. And we want to get to a place where you can speak from the heart, not from the head. All right. And in order to do that, you kind of need to know your materials, right? So number 2 is practice. All right. Just know what you're actually going to talk about. Probably a good idea, right? Number 3, though, is allows you to facilitate number two. Right? Number three is actually print off your slides. What a crazy idea, right? So what we often find is that when people go onto Zoom, they have a technical meltdown and they're like, oh, I can't find my notes, right? I'm used to delivering and I only got one screen and my notes have disappeared, right? And they have a panic moment. That's okay, you'll get it, it's totally fine. We have a grace and allowance for you as you take your time to try and work out the tech stuff. I get it. But one day, someone's going to say to you, you should have been more prepared, right? Put that comment aside for a moment. But the thing is, even if you're delivering face to face, you do need to appreciate that maybe your PowerPoint, maybe there is a tech issue and everything crashes for you. What are you going to do then? What are you going to do? Right? So, as a contingency measure, if you can't online see your notes, well, that's the problem. Face to face, if you can't actually show your PowerPoints, that's the problem. Right? So, what we highly recommend is printing off your slides 3 to a page. Why do I say that? Well, that allows you to then know what slide is coming next. So you can be speaking on your current slide, then you can quickly look at your print off and see what slide's coming next, and you can start to set up the next slide before you show it, right? And when you can do that, you actually sound like a professional. You actually sound like someone that has planned out the presentation and know what's coming, right? And it's a simple, it's a simple transition between the slides that makes you a little bit better than the person that just goes click, 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 right? So you want to print off 3 slides to a page, and you want to be knowing, all right, what's coming next, right? And, if you want to, you can go off to, a stationery store and actually get a holder for your slides so you can actually see them off to the corner. Or if you're delivering face-to-face, you can just have them on the table. You can just quickly look down there. Now, the other thing I recommend, though, is print off 1 slide to a page, all right? So print off a version of 3 slides to a page and also 1 slide to a page. And yes, it does make a lot of printing, but what it allows you to do is it allows you to actually have your 1 slide to a page. You can make some notes underneath that slide there, and you can start to make some notes. And that actually leads to point number 4. Point number 4 is write down the questions that you're actually going to ask the audience when you get to that slide, right? Whoa, what a crazy idea, right? So you actually write down the questions that you're going to ask the audience in relation to that topic, or maybe you're going to write down the activities, right? But actually write them down, okay? So if you're going to come up to a section about X topic, well, what questions are you going to ask the audience? What activities are you going to do, right? And that will force you to actually go, oh, I need to ask my audience some questions, right? Now, again, I apologize for the dramatics, but it's like, come on, folks, like let's get to a point where we actually shift our focus from all about me and my PowerPoint to all about the audience and how much I actually remember them. All right. Next one. What we also need to realize is that your job is to be the conduit of the message, right? And the PowerPoint is just the information that backs up you, right? So you are the message, not the PowerPoint, right? But that's okay. Let's dial it back to baby steps, right? So what we recommend is take information off the slides and put in your notes and put the bare minimum of the slide. And when you do have information on the slides, make sure in your own mind you have highlighted, or somewhere you've highlighted the key things in the slides that you really want to drive home that people actually remember. So you could show a slide and it could have maybe 7 points on there, right? Or maybe 10 points on there. But you need to realize that your audience are not as smart as you think, all right? Now, that's a little bit of a weird thing to say, but sometimes we have a belief that I'm going to show you 20 points on a slide, right? Or 7 points, right? And we think that I've shown it to you so you are automatically going to remember every single point. Whoa. Imagine if your audience were like that. Imagine if you could show something and people are like, oh, yeah, I've got it. Awesome. My audience, they've just got a supercharged memory, right? But that's how a lot of people present. They're like, I'm going to show a list of all these things And I'm going to assume that you've remembered every single thing I've shown, right? But let's get back to science for a second. The forgetfulness curve actually showed that people will forget 90% of what they've been shown within 5 minutes, right? After a presentation. So it would kind of make sense, right? To stop thinking that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that could be a good idea. So, myself, I'm gonna crack myself up, right? But we need to start to realize it's your job to actually highlight what you want people to remember. So, highly likely, you're going to show a bunch of stuff on a PowerPoint. Highly likely, most of it will be forgotten. But your job is to actually tell them what you want them to remember. How do you do that? In your own notes, highlight the important stuff and say to them, the biggest thing I want you to take away from this slide is point number 3. Everyone, grab a pen and write down number 3. Or everyone, point number 7, that is super important. Grab a pen and write this down. And I want you to talk to the person next to you and share point number 7. Whatever you want to do, I really don't mind. But you have to get into the stage of using those 2 phrases. The biggest thing I want you to take away from this slide is blah, blah. Or what you can do is summarize the entire slide and go, all right, the biggest thing I want you to take away from this slide is it's all about X. Grab a pen and write it's all about X, right? Really start to get into the habit of highlighting what you actually want people to remember. Because that's kind of what it's all about, folks. It's kind of what it's all about. So next one is that of ask, then tell. All right, ask, then tell. 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 And if you've been watching my videos for a while now, hopefully you've already started to write these points down. But ask, then tell. 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 All right, so enough of that. Basically, what I really want to demonstrate or really illustrate is that once you click over to the slide, it's game over. All right. So what you want to try and experiment with, I know we're still baby steps. I know we're still starting out, but one of the first shifts that you'll do as a trainer, and I had to go through it. When I first started out, it was all about the PowerPoints. Yeah, good PowerPoint. Eventually, I got to a stage where I realized that once you show the PowerPoint, once you show the slide, it's game over, right? The people are already zoned out. So what you want to do instead is start to get strategic and maybe one day practice if you're okay with it. Before you show the next slide, ask us a question or ask your audience a question. So for example, if your next slide is the top 10 characteristics of a great leader, before you show the slide, ask a question. What a crazy idea. So, all right, maybe, top 10 characteristics. All right. So before I show you the next slide, which is all about top 10 characteristics of amazing leaders, I just want to have a quick chat. I want you to turn to the person next to you and share with them in your own mind, what are 3 characteristics of a great leader? And then you put them in pairs and they do an activity. Crazy idea, right? And then you gather up the information and you do a group debrief. And then you go, oh, those ideas, awesome. Now, let's check out the slide and what we've actually come across with the surveys that we've done. Then you show the slide. What a crazy idea, right? Or if you're talking about maybe, I don't know, safety in the workplace, you can go, all right, folks, before we look at the next slide, which is all about, what to do in the case of an accident or emergency and different things that can happen in the workplace, I'd like you to turn to the person next to you and simply share in your workplace what can be a danger or a hazard that sometimes people completely miss that you see all the time and you wish people were more aware of, right? Go ahead, turn to your partner, create a list of blah, and gather up the information, show the slide, right? And this is the process of ask, then show. So ask, then show the information, ask, then show the information, ask, then show the information, ask. I think you get the point, right? But unfortunately, people are a little bit hesitant to do that because they have a belief it's all about the slide. They have a belief it's all about, I'm going to show you the thing. You're going to sit there passively and go, okay, I'm going. Yep, I'm a genius. I've just read your slide. I've remembered everything you've shown me. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm going to go away and do something different because you've shown me the information. Yes, okay, I get it. I am a good passive learner there. I'm going to sit here and do no activities at all. I'm going to memorize everything you've said because I'm a genius, right? Yes, yes, I'm very good. I'm a genius. I'm not going to write anything down. No, 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 no. I'm not going to do that. And I'm just going to passively. Oh, and also, you may have given me a copy of all your slides, and I'm going to take them home and I'm going to do nothing with them, and it's going to go in the bin. But the presenter and the trainer thought that I am going to actually go home and look at the slides, and that's what I would do, right? Newsflash, folks. Whenever you print off your slides, pretty much within 15 minutes, those slides are going in the bin, right? So that's a point number 8. Don't ever, ever, ever hand out your slides to your participant. It's a real rookie mistake. It kills all engagement. Don't ever do it, right? But that's a topic for another video. Hopefully you've got some value from this video, and I know it's scary. I know it's a little bit scary to go from PowerPoint world to you are the message and the PowerPoint backs you up, right? So the purpose of this video is just to give you a little bit of tips to take a first couple of steps to move away from PowerPoint. But death by PowerPoint still happening out there, but that's okay. I don't judge you for what you don't know, and hopefully these videos or these tips here, numbers like the 7 tips, have helped you out a little bit there, right? So number 1, change your criteria. Change it. Please, as Chris Wall could say. Number 2, practice. Practice. Know what's coming up. Number 3 is print up your slides, 3 to a page and 1 note page as well there, right? And actually, you know, if you want to step into the world of being a professional, actually make a syntax, but that's okay. We won't go there yet, right? The next one is write down the key questions you're actually going to ask the audience as you go through your presentation. Right. Next one is use the expression. Biggest thing I want you to take away from this slide is blah, blah. Grab a pen and write this down. God forbid they remember something, right? Next one is highlight the key things on your plan that you want them to remember. Be very top of mind in that. And on a side note, make sure that you can sum up your entire presentation in 1 sentence. But that's okay. We won't go there yet. I know it's a little bit technical. And then get into the habit. I know it's a little scary, but ask, then tell. 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 Ask, then tell, right? And hopefully that's sticking in your mind there, right? So ask, then tell. Ask, then tell. Ask, then tell. Ask, then tell, right? Because once you have shown it, it's game over, right? And I've done another video on suspense and building that into PowerPoints, right? But at this stage, I know it's a little bit scary, but you can do it. As a great comedian said, you can do it. You can do it. It's okay, folks. And even the advanced people that have been training for a while, you'll be able to get some tips from this as well. And maybe you can even share these tips with people that may be struggling to step away from the PowerPoint a little bit as well there, right? On that note, folks, if you get some value from the video, no matter where you're at, let's make sure that death by PowerPoint is no longer something that happens in the future going forward, because I think we're kind of at a point where we realize the science and the dynamics behind it. We kind of realize that, you know, putting your learners to sleep, your audience to sleep, is not really a respectful thing to do. And people these days, with Zoom and with new technology, are kind of expecting you as a master trainer, or even, you know, anybody that steps into a public speaking role, is kind of expecting you to up your game, so to speak, right? On that note, folks, hope you got some value. Like, comment, share, have some laughs. Let's get the message out there. And let's change our criteria and start to go, no, I am the message, and the PowerPoint backs me up. It isn't who I am. I don't walk around and go, I am the PowerPoint. I am the PowerPoint. All right, that'd be weird. Anyway, a few laughs on this video. Thanks for watching, team, and we'll see you on the next one.